walk into a room, or when any black girl who has natural hair walks into a room, we take up space and we take up attention, and people want to know who she is and why is her hair so beautiful. You know, it starts the conversation. Thank you.
Welcome back to Macy V-TV. I am Macy Vessell. Macy V-TV is a brand to give people a platform to share their truth and showcase talent. And today with me, I have Miss Ky'Rianna. How are you today?
Macy, I'm good. How are y'all doing out there?
So today is all about natural hair. As you can see, I do not have natural hair. I'm not part of the gang, but I do want y'all to have the best advice as it goes for your hair. It's many conversations on the internet of natural hair, and we're about to discuss some topics. But first, when did you start your natural hair journey?
So I started my natural hair journey in the year of 2014, 2015. I was probably like in the 9th or 10th grade, I believe. So that was really when I decided to change everything about my life, my health, my friends, my overall lifestyle. So that's pretty much when it started.
Okay, so before you went natural, a lot of girls, you might not be a part of the girls, but a lot of girls say that before they went natural, they were permed and they went bald because of it. So were you one of those people that were permed and then was like, I lost hair because of my perm?
So I was permed. Actually, I got my first perm, I believe, at like 5 or 6. But my mother, luckily, she always kept our hair maintained. We went to salons and things like that. So I didn't struggle as much with my hair falling out because it was taken care of with oils, constant washing and conditioning. But I did notice my hair was a lot more thinner than it is now due to me having relaxed hair. So my hair didn't really fall out, but it just was not as thick and healthy as it is today. And that's pretty much it. It just was not given what is given today.
Yes.
So, yes.
So when you first started, I know a lot of people, when they first start their journey, they call it, I want to say, the bald phase.
Yes.
So how was that phase for you?
Okay, so I was getting a little, sneaky. I was trying to cut some corners here. And when I was transitioning, what I would do is every time I would change my hairstyle, I would cut my hair. Like I would just trim off a little bit at a time, just because I was so big on length and my hair was already long. So it was like, I want to keep my length. I don't want to look bald-headed. But this one particular time, I believe it was in November, I had just turned 15, and I just looked at my hair and I was like, girl, this is ugly. Like, we're gonna cut this off. It is not working. And I just cut my hair off and I got my hair done that next day. So I didn't see my hair for a good 3 months. And after the 3 months, I put it right back in another protective style. So I let my hair grow in a protective style for honestly a year. And after that year is when I finally started to take care of my hair and pay attention to what natural hair is.
So do you think that you didn't like the short hair phase because it was short, or you didn't think that you were taking care of it well enough as you should?
Yes, I honestly, I love my natural hair. I feel like I be rocking a little short look sometimes, but I believe I just wanted to understand what natural hair was and how to manage natural hair. And also, I danced in high school, and when you're on a dance team, you have to look as one, so we wore sew-ins, So that's mainly why I did not wear my natural hair out as much, just because I was active in high school. But if I had the choice, I would still wear a wig. I would, just because it was challenging, being that I, am a teenager and I'm going through different changes in my life as a young lady, and then my natural hair is like, okay, something gotta work.
So since we're talking about high school, how was the backlash or the opinions? Because usually in high school, when people went natural, people acted like it was the end of the world.
Yes.
So how was that for you, especially for a darker skin tone woman?
So I'm from Florida, and I don't know if that has anything to do with what we're talking about, but I have to say that I'm from Florida, and it's like I grew up looking at strong black women, carefree women who just love the skin that they were in, whether they were black, brown, whatever. It's like they loved themselves and they were loud about it. So when I changed myself for me. And I believe that I've always just been very confident in that. So when I went to school, it was like, okay, and
I'm here.
Like
Natural.
it was really like that. Just because I was happy with the choice that I had made for myself, and I felt like it was deeper than just I want to impress someone. You know, it was something about my life that I wanted to change. And also it was they're gonna laugh at this, but I always saw myself as a trendsetter in high school.
As you should.
I always have, and it's not to like be cocky about it, but just in a positive way. I always look to just motivate people to be the best version of themselves and to want to see other people doing well. So I have to start that by showing it through myself, and that's honestly why I didn't really care about what other ones had to say about natural hair or me being natural. And that's really what pushed me to start my own business. I actually started this the year I became natural in 2015. So it really just went hand in hand. I was a girl that was known for the big fro. And it's gonna continue to stay that way, but that's pretty much how it was in high school. Just living my carefree life and showing people that it is possible.
So before we get into your business, how long did it take you to find out and figure out what products were best for your hair?
Ooh, still to this day.
It's an ongoing process.
Absolutely. You know, we say like this product is our niche, but honestly, as growing women, our hormones change, our lifestyle changes, our environment changes. So products have to change based off of our environment.
And I never actually thought of it like that.
Yes, absolutely. So like when I first started, the products that I began to use were Shea Moisture. And it did not work for my hair. Shea Moisture did not work for my hair at all. And neither did like Carol's Dark. It's like I have to take my time with my craft because it's not about money. It has never been about money for me. Even when I started, I didn't even know I could get paid. I'm like, well, we get paid for this? But it really it's
something you love.
Absolutely. It's really my purpose in life. So when it's your purpose, you take your time with it. You want to make sure it is exactly how it's supposed to be. Because this is what God has ordained
Very
for you.
sound like me when I be making my clothes.
Yes, like, and you just get so lost in it, like.
So since we are in a new environment, a new era, a new age,
Yes.
do you think that natural hair is more accepted than it was when you first started?
Yes, I do. I absolutely believe that because we're seeing it more in children now. Even TV shows. There's TV shows on Netflix with a young little girl who talks about her natural hair and how her friends make her feel very uncomfortable with asking her different questions. And when I started going natural, I didn't have that. You know, I just kind of made up my own story. I just went with the flow, and that was pretty much it. But I feel like now, because there's more conversations and it's like we're letting it be known that our hair is beautiful, we are beautiful, that is why I feel like it is more, you know, accepted now, why we see it more often than we did back then when we were in that transitioning phase. So
have you ever had somebody just come up to you and be like, can I touch your hair?
yes, and I've had people actually just touch my hair. And back to the high school thing, I had to set boundaries in high school. Like, I would literally move my head. No, I would hit people. I would do whatever it took for them not to touch my hair, just because it is part of my temple. And when you focus so much on growing something or taking care of something, you want to keep it within. You want to make sure that it is sacred and it is safe. And people have spirits on them. You know, people carry things on their hands, they carry feelings, and you don't want that energy to come into your space, something that you take so much care of. And that's what I felt like with my hair, that it was more than my hair, it was who I am. It's something that I have crafted, something that I have taken the time to really pay attention to and to love and to understand and to, you know, cry about and to just, you know, be happy for. So when you come into my space, I'm going to hit you, girl.
Yes.
Ask, and I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no, but don't come into my space, you know, and that's something that is very important. And that's something that I like to teach a lot to my friends and family when it comes down to our hair, to let them know it's more than just your hair. It's something that you water. It's your tree.
I was about to say, honestly, I feel like natural hair is like y'all crown.
Yes.
Because everyone can't wear it, you know, how others wear it.
Absolutely. And this is kind of getting off of that somewhat. But I also believe that is why we were given these, you know, relaxers and things for us to forget how sacred our crown is, to make us look average or like the average beauty, you know, of what it used to be with a European woman who has straighter hair. But when you grow your hair and you have this big fro, it takes up space.
Mm-hmm.
And as a black woman, taking up space speaks volumes than just speaking out loud. You know, when I walk into a room, or when any black girl who has natural hair walks into a room, we take up space and we take up attention. And people want to know who she is and why is her hair so beautiful. You know, it starts the conversation. Thank you.
Because I was going to say, I think a lot of, especially in the black community, our moms permed our hair so they wouldn't have to take care of the natural hair, because apparently it's a lot of stress, it's a lot of work, especially with mothers with more than just one girl.
Yes.
So I think that's really one main reason, but we never know the real reasons. But I do want to say, growing up, it was a lot of relaxed. I really don't remember seeing a lot of natural girls,
Correct.
especially in elementary school.
Yes.
So it wasn't until I got into middle school where I could see it, but people were still making fun of it.
Yes.
Or when girls would have natural hair and it wasn't growing as much as another one, they'd be like, girl, you just wish you had this and all that.
Yes. I saw both sides of it, and honestly, I asked my mother, you know, it was part of my like healing journey into becoming a young woman. I asked her, why did you perm my hair? You know, and if you knew the things that you knew today, would you have chosen other options? And my mother was a teen mom. She had me at 16, so she's living her life as a young adult while raising a young girl. And it was the trend back then where we relaxed our hair, and she comes from a mother whose generation was going into that relaxed, stage of them having froze, but then wanted to have, jerry curls, and then moving it to the hot pressing with the little curls and the spritz and things.
You're really opening my eyes right now. Because when you look at it, in the 70s, everybody had a fro.
Yes, absolutely. Even at Southern, if you look at old Southern pictures, and especially in the Union, they have fros.
And I did not even pinpoint how it started way back then.
Yes.
But then when we were growing up, it's like, okay, it's time for change. We want to relax.
Like our generation was that generation to have that phase of relaxed hair, and then waking up to say, wait a minute, hold up. No. Let's move ahead. So, or let's move back to our roots and rebrand it into what it is today. Where we're learning more about protective styles and teaching the younger generation to appreciate the hair. Because I love to talk, girl. So
no, you're good. This is a talk show. We're on Macy V-TV.
So, for example, I always felt like the generation from the 70s, the ones who had children, there was a lot of things going on politically, with just racial situations and things. And when it came down to our beauty, our hair, that wasn't as...
It was stereotypical.
Yes, and we didn't really... It wasn't really marketed as much as it is today, just because there were so many other things that had our attention in our community. So children never grew up to understand what it was to be beautiful, with our hair. So they began to look into other ways, the things that were advertised, like a perm, relaxed hair, or a silk press. And over time, it evolves into what we grew up into, and then now here we are, moving it to something else.
Because we're about to get into your brand in 1 minute, but I just want to say, I do think we're the change generation.
Absolutely.
That we're breaking barriers.
Yes, generational curses, all that. Yes, I let my grandmother know all the stuff that you put up with, Grandma. I'm not doing that. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm breaking all them generational curses, girl.
As you should.
I don't want none of that. You got it. So yes, that's pretty much my viewpoint on our community and our natural hair.
So let's talk about your business. Can you tell us the name of your brand?
So my company name is called Southern Belle Curly Tail LLC, and it's also known as SBCT Products.
So why did you start this brand? Because of course you're a natural hair girl.
Yes.
But there's also companies that have, I guess you could say, products that specialize in natural hair. So why did you start your own brand?
I started my own brand because my great-grandmother, Carolyn, she was relaxed my whole life. She wore perms, she wore wigs. She just always had her hair pressed out, so I never saw her hair in a natural state. But the year of her transitioning over to, the other side, her passing over, I remember I would grease her scalp with any oils or butters that I could find, and her hair grew so quickly without her using relaxers and things. And there was just some type of pull where I wanted her to be healthy in her last stages of life. So I was trying to get her to eat fruit, nuts, just anything I could think of that was healthy. I was trying to give it to her. And I was like, well, what about her hair? So one day I was in the kitchen, and I have always been attracted to dried herbs, just natural things. So I remember putting like rosebuds, olive oil, coconut oil, all these things I could find in my mother's kitchen. I put it into a mason jar and I let that sit, right? And after she passed away, I began to rework on that oil and just find different ways that I knew the oil would work for me and my hair. And when I did it, my hair flourished like within the first 3 months. Also, I had my hair in a protective style, so it wasn't a lot of manipulation. But creating that oil just gave me a sense of peace with her, you know, because that was our last bonding experience with me moisturizing her scalp and taking care of her and her health. So those are the main factors of Southern Belle Curly Tail, where it was more so of like, this is home, this is familiar, this is my love. So and honestly, this is actually the oil right here. It comes to Natural Hair Growth Oil. It has evolved over time. This oil was just this oil was dark, it was muddy looking, and now it is, as you can see, it just looks so beautiful.
It does.
Yes, and it has the dried herbs that I first had when I created the oil. And if you shake it, it actually activates the herbs, and the herbs are at the bottom. So it'll act as like an exfoliator, like a sugar scrub, but for your scalp, because the herbs that's at the bottom.
Looking at this actually reminds me of a beautiful fish tank, if you understand what I'm saying.
Yes, I do.
Like when you look in a fish tank, you see the rocks at the
Yes,
bottom, and then everything
yes.
is just floating around.
Yes,
That's what it
yes.
reminds me of. So what's in these bags?
So in those bags, so like I said, I have evolved, and I'm still evolving with my brand, my business, and that is a new product. That is the sweet rosemary oil that I use for my skin. I use it for adding into the It Comes Natural Hair Growth Oil or my deep conditioners. It is like an all-purpose little drop and go type of oil that I use, like I said, for my skin at night. I add it to my like nighttime skin regimen or my morning regimen, or also for my hands as well. I don't wear acrylic nails like I used to, just because I'm always working on products. So I like to take great care of my nail bed, and I use the rosemary oil to kind of soothe out my nail cuticles.
So you don't only have a hair product, but you have face, basically anything that
Yes.
you can beautify yourself
Yes,
with.
absolutely, and it's all vegan, it's all natural. It ties back into health. What is in will come out.
So how did you figure out that what you're doing for your hair can also work for your skin and your nails?
I actually learned that just by food. I'm a food person, and before I make products, I used to eat. I never used to, I still eat. But when my Nana passed, I began to educate myself on healthy eating. And being that I was athletic, I would have issues with joint pains and things. So I went on this diet. No, I went on this fasting, and I about died, y'all. I literally almost died. Don't go cold turkey, moderate or whatever. But what happened was I was drinking a lot of water one day, and I realized that I could feel the water in my scalp. And I was like, well, if I could feel water, what about watermelon? So I was just, trying out different foods, and I noticed how well my scalp was responding. And then after that, my skin was responding, and then my insides, just overall everything right after the other. So with the It Comes Natural Hair Growth Oil, I decided, okay, the things that I consume should also work from the outside as well. So I believe, like a honey mask. And my hair was very soft, very soothing, just very shiny, very, very shiny. And it just trickled down from there. And I started to research different ingredients, what works together, what doesn't. And I was my little guinea pig. I'm talking about, there was times I looked a mess because I'm trying everything.
Just looking to see what best products.
It was not always pretty. It wasn't. I used my mother as a guinea pig. Anybody who was a family member around that time, they got used. But that's pretty much how it went. Just starting from changing up my diet and noticing that instant shift, and saying, okay, now let me try, making a sugar scrub with some brown sugar and honey and lemon juice and turmeric, and see how that works. And just like that, you have an exfoliating sugar scrub that will brighten dark spots.
So a lot of people be like, you have a brand, but how is your clientele? So how has your clientele reviews been?
first, I love all of my customers out there, all the Southern belles and bows. I call them belles and bows just because it matches with the name. But I love them all, and it's growing every single day. You know, every single day I'm receiving a new customer. I don't even call them customers, I call them family, because this was made from love, you know. So it's more so of just, I get a new family member every single day. It's never just, oh yeah, I got 100 people right here, we good. No, it's always expanding, it's always elevating into something every single day. I have clients up north in Connecticut, Boston area. I have clients in California, Nevada, like Las Vegas. I have clients in Texas, like the Houston area. Of course, Florida, because that is where I first started at. So Florida is like my big customer base out there. And also Louisiana, because, you know, Jaguar Nation. But yes, out here in Louisiana, I have been expanding myself and my brand and just trying to find ways to connect with like-minded individuals like myself and just getting out of my comfort zone, like, oh, they'll come to me and be like, no, I'm gonna come to you. Hey.
Real no.
Yes.
I chase my members.
Yes. Oh, I will chase you down, honey. Like, I love to talk. I am a talkative person. I love to engage. I love to just teach. I love to be taught. So if I see an opportunity, I'm gonna go for it. Like you said,
take it.
I came for you first. You know,
Yeah.
on the, the TV. I sent you a little message, and I'm like, I hope she responds back. I was so excited, and you came to me. You know, so that was definitely God. And that's overall just how it has been. I just allow for God to bring people in my space and vice versa, and it will just flow. It will be like, you can't deny it. You can't be like, it might be a good customer. It's just like, hey girl, hey Belle, how you doing? So that's really how it is over here. It's just always growing.
So before we wrap up this segment, I have 3 questions. One, where can people find your products?
So, okay, I'm gonna shift real quick. How y'all doing out there? You can find these lovely products.
As you should.
You can find these products at www.sbctproducts.com.
Okay, so is there anything else you want to say that I may not have covered?
Sure. One thing I will say is love yourself.
Is there any advice you want to give before we wrap this segment up?
Yes. Love yourself. Literally. Like,
I think that's really one of the best advices you can give, though.
You have to love yourself in this journey when you're going to your natural state. You know, I believe social media plays a big part in our community, and we will go on Instagram and we'll see a girl and she has these new little clothes on. We're like, let me not go to Pretty Little Things today, okay? You know, it'll make you want to just grab something or change something real quick or put on makeup or do this, you know, this and that. But I would honestly say just taking the time to be your raw, natural self.
Authentic self.
Yes, like I stare at myself in the mirror. I love myself so much, and it has come from me just crying to myself, from me just really being upset with decisions that I made, and saying, you know what? That is okay. You did that. You did.
You live and you learn.
You showed out on that one thing, girl. But it's
but you know not to do it again.
Yes, it's all good, and that really you have to do that, and that's what I had to do a lot while becoming natural. I had to be honest with myself in decisions that I made with my hair, with my health, and say, okay, yep, you did that, girl. You ate that up. But let's be for real now. It's not who you are anymore, and that is good. That's great. It's time for you to now move forward and elevate with grace and love and joy. So that's honestly my main advice, is to love yourself and love yourself throughout everything. You know, even when you're upset at a decision you made 5 years ago, just say, I'm not there no more. I'm not there anymore, and that is okay with me. Now I can do what is best.
Well, thank you, Ky'Rianna.
Yes, thank you.
On the show. Can we give her a round of applause?
Yes. You too. Congratulations with everything.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me. I love to talk. So
thank you. Anytime.
This is my little click right here. I'm feeling this. This is a nice little setup. Y'all see this setup? Okay, girl.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to Macy V-TV on our natural hair segment. Make sure you continue to watch previous episodes on my IGTV Series and YouTube, and we will see you next time.